I'm Carol Andrews for another episode of Southwest TV News. Here are some of the stories coming up on today's show. Over the past several months, the fate of community pasture land across Saskatchewan has been in the news as the federal government has turned over the reins to the province. A Swift Current entrepreneur is realizing his dream while filling the needs of a local housing market. Daryl Wallace was joined by local dignitaries for the sod turning on his second phase of housing construction along 4th Avenue Northeast in Swift Current. Frontier Days is a much-anticipated event for Swift Current and area residents as it marks the official kickoff to summer. This year's Frontier Days event marked a milestone as it celebrated its 75th anniversary. Thanks for joining us here today. The future of Saskatchewan's community pastures are receiving global attention following a visit by a well-known Canadian author. Over the past several months, the fate of community pasture land across Saskatchewan has been in the news as the federal government has turned over the reins to the province, with the provincial government now planning to sell or lease the land encompassing 62 community pastures, or 1.8 million acres of land to private users. This includes ranchers or anyone else interested in the property in question. The issue at hand has attracted the interest of Public Pastures Public Interest, a citizen-based organization devoted to maintaining all of Saskatchewan's public grasslands as healthy ecosystems and working landscapes. Trevor Harriott is the group's co-director and has been attending numerous meetings across the province to get the message out to the general public of the importance of the community pastures and the tough road ahead that ranchers face. Southwest TV News caught up with Harriott during a recent stop in Swift Current while en route to meet local ranchers.
I would say the majority of the patrons we've talked to and the ones we're hearing about from Ian McCreary of the Pasture Patrons Association and others are concerned that they're being rushed, as the terms are being offered to them right now have to be put in place for the first 10 pastures by October 31st. And that's really not enough time for them to develop the business plans, the partnerships that they need to get to know each other and figure this out, especially because they haven't so far been able to get all the details they need from the province.
On this particular afternoon, Southwest TV News joined a cavalcade of vehicles as we made our way out to the Webb Community Pasture, a few kilometers outside of Swift Current. This pasture land is home to hundreds of head of cattle throughout the summer months, as local ranchers use this site for cattle grazing. A local treasure which Canadian author Margaret Atwood had the opportunity to view firsthand and listen to the stories of local ranchers. Atwood and her husband Graham Gibson are prominent members of BirdLife International and showed a genuine interest in the rancher situation.
So they've just been more or less dictated to, and they've been given a very short timeline that is impossible because you cannot write a budget if you don't have the information you need to write the budget. So it's a Cinderella situation in which, yes, Cinderella can go to the ball if she does 17 impossible things before dinner. And they've just set it up so that you can't do those things. They haven't listened to people, they haven't consulted, and we know in the work we do with BirdLife that unless you consult local people, unless you work with them, you will fail.
To benefit the really big players, and I think that that a great many people would be very happy to see small operators go out of business. And I think what's going on here, there's a whole range of other things associated with it. But this is an ideological move starting in Ottawa, and it looks like it's going to be carried on here.
International attention which local rancher Bryce Burnett hopes will assist in keeping the community pasture issue in the spotlight. Burnett and his son ranch near Swift Current and mark the third generation to haul cattle to the Swift Current Webb pasture. And with ranchers across the province facing the choice and monetary investment of whether or not they want to become owners of the community pastures, Burnett suggests they investigate the land in question first.
If the patrons want to take them over, they maybe better get on a horse and take a ride through them and just see what they're getting into and what's happening, because these pastures have been managed just tremendously by the managers that are managing them now, and I'm not so sure that maybe the private sector can do as well as what these managers are doing here now.
Burnett goes on to add that ranchers such as himself would appreciate the provincial government's willingness to better understand the issue at hand, rather than the expedited process of selling off the community pastures.
I've made many phone calls to the Premier's office trying to get talk to the Premier, our local pasture here. I mean, it is right in Swift Current Webb constituency, and So far, we haven't been able to get him to talk with us at all. He just doesn't seem to care about what's happening here at the Swift Current Web Community Pasture.
And with the looming deadline of October 31st, the first 10 community pastures in the province will be dealt with, as interested ranchers will be required to have their business plans in place while stating their intentions to purchase the pastures in question. A decision which Burnett is still unsure of how to pursue.
Well, we're in a fortunate position here because this pasture at Swift Current Web doesn't come up until the very last, another 5 years. So we've got 5 years to see how the rest of this goes. There's 10 pastures that are supposed to be done by the end of this year, which I don't think will happen. And they're kind of the guinea pigs as to see how the transition will move along. And from there, I guess we'll see how it goes.
According to data from Public Pastures Public Interest, approximately 2,500 ranchers across Saskatchewan rely on the community pastures for summer grazing, with close to 73,000 cattle in the system. When you think about agriculture in Saskatchewan, livestock and grain are some of the first things that come to mind. Cam McLeod is an entrepreneur in Cabri thinking outside of the box, starting his own cherry farm business in 1999, called Cloud9 Orchards. The biggest challenge for McLeod was making sure his cherry plants could handle the harsh winters of Saskatchewan, and explains how he determined there was an opportunity for success.
The university in Saskatoon is doing some wonderful things with plants that will survive our Saskatchewan winters. And they come out with a Carmine Jewel variety of sour cherry in '99. I heard about them, started planting them heavy in 2000 and planted right up until 2007. And between two properties, I've got about 6,000 trees growing.
What attracted McLeod to this type of cherry was its deep purple hue and flavor, which is hardy and easy to process. Even with cherry plants that can survive the winters, McLeod still had many obstacles facing him. These plants take 5 years to grow to their proper size. And with no initial financial profit from the crop, his income would have to come from other sources.
I knew there wasn't going to be any money off the place for, I kind of expected 10 years. I was hoping things would come together a little quicker. And we had production, so we did sell off a few cherries here and there. But I had part-time jobs off farm, and lots of times I went away in the wintertime and pipelined and just did what I had to do to keep paying the bills here. And then 2 years ago was kind of the turning point. I come out of the bush in the end of March and thought, that's enough of that. I'm just going to go full-time with this.
McLeod then decided to explore the processing side of the business and created the Santa Fe Food Company in 2011. He developed 3 unique sauces out of his cherries, which can be found in stores in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, and British Columbia. McLeod firmly believes in all natural ingredients and does not include any preservatives, color, added flavor, or salt. In order for Santa Fe Foods to be a success, he needed to expand his business. And with the help of Community Futures Southwest, was able to turn his dreams into a reality.
I was getting into heavy production then, so I needed a harvester, and we just talked about things, and finally in '08 I signed with them, and that's when I made some improvements, got a mechanical harvester, did some piping and some running some irrigation lines and such to try to water what I've already got on the go, and things like that. They were a big help when it came to it. The situation I was in, I didn't think anybody would even look at me, kind of thing.
Thanks to Community Futures Southwest, success stories such as Cloud9 Orchards and Santa Fe Food Company are becoming more popular. Community Futures Southwest helps business owners with financing and business training, making dreams become a reality. Contact their office today. Southwest TV News is hitting the road with our annual Summer Around the Southwest tour, covering a variety of exciting events across the region. The Southwest TV News Summer Around the Southwest Tour is proudly brought to you by Innovation Credit Union. Imagine the possibilities. Another exciting season of Market Square returns to downtown Swift Current, featuring live entertainment, fresh garden produce, crafts, and other unique vendors. Market Square, every Saturday at the corner of Central and Chaplin. Presented by Standard Motors, in partnership with Innovation Credit Union and Southwest TV News. Plan to attend the 6th Annual Mortlach Saskatoon Berry Festival. Enjoy delicious Saskatoon berry pie and other delicacies. Meet local artisans and enjoy an array of entertainment for the whole family, including the pancake breakfast starting at 8 a.m., followed by the parade at 11. Enjoy live music and dancing until midnight. The Mortlach Saskatoon Berry Festival. 4,000 people with purple teeth can't be wrong. Development is underway in Swift Current on another exciting housing project. We have more in this report. A Swift Current entrepreneur is realizing his dream while filling the needs of a local housing market. Daryl Wallace was joined by local dignitaries for the sod turning on his second phase of housing construction along 4th Avenue Northeast in Swift Current. Crystal Waters will consist of 23 high-end condo units overlooking the adjacent Chinook Parkway, with construction set to commence in the coming days.
Machines are sitting on site, to start digging the hole, and we're talking to our piling contractors right now. So hopefully, they're going to be on site within a month. But actual digging of the hole, we're looking at probably within this next week or so.
A 3-phase housing development with construction values close to $30 million, which Wallace had a vision for once the property became available.
As builders, we just thought, wow, this is, in my estimation, this is the nicest piece of land in our city. And we just saw so much potential. We put a proposal forth to the city, and we were successful with that. And since that day, we've been planning and working towards this day.
An initiative which is applauded by his clientele, who choose to call this Swift Current neighborhood their home.
Well, at the very outset, the very location, which is just absolutely beautiful, overlooking the Swift Current Creek and the city of Swift Current. There is not a better location in Swift Current. Secondly, I guess Daryl Wallace and the Wallace construction people have been in the business for a lengthy period of time, and I think he can do a pretty good job of building this thing. And it's premier development, there's no doubt about that.
As Daryl Wallace fulfills his dream of constructing high-quality homes for local residents, he and his team are developing a lasting impression on city officials.
All we can do as a city is try and be as accommodative as possible to business development, but people have to be able to believe in a community and believe into the people of the community, and then be willing to take a risk and take on the work, and they've done that. They've done it countless times in our community, and this one is certainly really significant.
And as many consider opportunities outside of Saskatchewan, Wallace is committed to improving the quality of life for the Swift Current region, with full confidence in the local economy.
And I think if you can set down roots, and if you can, I guess, hold in there and not just jump around. A lot of people ask me, why don't you move to Medicine Hat? Why don't you move to Calgary? There'd be so many more opportunities. We saw opportunities here within our city. I was born and raised in a small community just outside of Swift Current, so Swift Current is my home, and it always has been, and it always will be. And Swift Current has been great to us, and I, looking at other parties and entrepreneurs who wanted to set up shop here, I think Swift Current offers a lot of opportunities. It's the size of a community where it's not impossible to get started.
The third and final phase on this particular site for D.W. Wallace Construction will break ground in the next few years, following the success of Sweetwater Estates and Crystal Waters developments. The 75th Frontier Days in Swift Current was another success. Our Southwest TV News crew was there, and we bring you all the highlights. This Southwest TV News Summer Around the Southwest feature is proudly brought to you by Innovation Credit Union. Imagine the possibilities. Frontier Days is a much-anticipated event for Swift Current and area residents, as it marks the official kickoff to summer. This year's Frontier Days event marked a milestone, as it celebrated its 75th anniversary. The achievement in Swift Current's history was launched with an official branding at the Frontier Days breakfast. The ceremonial branding was led by Chuck Gaudet of W.W. Smith, who was pleased to be a part of this historic morning.
The Ag and X is a pretty important 4 days for the city of Swift Current. It brings a lot of people to town. It's a fun celebration, so when we were asked to be part of the breakfast, it was good. Interestingly enough, the history of W.W. Smith, William Wensley Smith, was one of the original board members on the Kinetic. In fact, he had a lot to do with the organization of the Kinetic Park. So it's kind of like revisiting history for the W.W. Smith organization. So it was just a good mix.
The anniversary event also attracted James and Cora McCauley, who attended the first Frontier Days event back in 1938.
Yes, I'm pleased to be here. I'm pleased to be among one of the crowd. We attended the first rodeo held in Swift Current in 1938 and took snapshots of the parade.
A big highlight of the weekend was the 75th anniversary parade, which attracted over 90 entries this year. And as the crowds lined the streets of Swift Current, the parade participants took to their route in an array of floats and other entries. The Midway also offered something for all ages, from an array of thrilling rides, games, and vendors. One of the highlights of the weekend at the grandstand were the Triple Threat Trick Riders. The Alberta-based riders entertained the crowd with their stunts on horseback. Shelby Pearson has been riding since she was 8, and says the thrill of performing is still strong 5 years later.
I like the horsemanship part, is being able to go to a different level with your horse. And I also love the daring part of it, doing the tricks off the side. It's so much fun.
Do you ever get scared?
Not too bad. Just different tricks are just different for me. Depending on if I'm working on a new trick, it's a bit scary.
Cheyenne McKellone has been a trick rider for the past 9 years, and with hopes of taking her skills to a professional level in the arena, she loves entertaining the crowd at each stop along the summer tour with her unique routine.
The hardest trick that I do is probably the Stroud. You have on the right side, you have your foot in a strap, and then you tie your stirrup, and then you basically stand out on the side of the horse.
And thanks to optimum weather conditions and a steady flow of patrons, the 75th Frontier Days was another success, with the organizing committee already looking ahead to next year.
I think that it's just a really fun, enjoyable time had by all, whether you like to go on the rides, you like to go to the barns, you like to visit the rodeo and the excitement that happens there. There's just so much happening, and the community spirit is strong. It's just lots of fun, and you can enjoy yourself.
Frontier Days is an annual summer tradition, held the last weekend of June at Kinetic Exhibition Park in Swift Current. W.W. Smith Insurance has reached a milestone as it celebrates its centennial. Having served Southwest Saskatchewan for the past 100 years, W.W. Smith Insurance is your motor license issuer, while specializing in all of your personal and commercial needs, including home, auto, agro, business, and life insurance. W.W. Smith Insurance, independently owned and operated since 1913. Plan to attend the 6th annual Mortlach Saskatoon Berry Festival. Enjoy delicious Saskatoon berry pie and other delicacies. Meet local artisans and enjoy an array of entertainment for the whole family, including the pancake breakfast starting at 8 a.m., followed by the parade at 11. Enjoy live music and dancing until midnight. The Mortlach Saskatoon Berry Festival. 4,000 people with purple teeth can't be wrong.
Our company helps tell your story and provides you with the solution on how to market your business. Because making a great video is only half the equation. You have to know how to use it.
We have done a major.
The parade and Frontier Days go hand in hand. And in this report, we bring you a behind-the-scenes look at the 75th anniversary parade from Swift Current.
How many years have we been in the parade, guys? 40?
38.
38 years. 38 years. Yeah. Shaunavon, Lancer, where'd we all go? Leader. The best thing about it is the money we raise to send the kids to the Shrine hospitals.
So tell me about your float here.
It's a float that Laurie Doucette and Randy here put together. We get the float out of, it's a centrally owned float obviously, and we get some kids involved and just want to be in the parade, try and help out in the community and make everything look good and go well.
So what do you think of the parade so far, Jared, this year?
Oh, it's amazing. The streets are packed, so it's a beautiful day and good to see so many people out. Without question, it's perks like this or times you get to deal with youth in our community. There's no question that that's the most fun part of the job anyways, for sure.
Yeah, and we'll redesign it for next year. Maybe a nice bar along the top might be a little easier.
You almost need to do a little training first.
Yeah, well, you know, we do a lot of push-ups, so that's helping, I think, now, for sure. But I just keep looking at it.
There you go.
So Brad, what's the best thing about being a premier?
This is a good day. This is one of the best days. It really is the people. It sounds like a cliche. There you go, bud. But it's the truth. It's days like today, so especially at home in Swift Current. Hey guys, here you go. We're losing track. There you go.
Go Raiders!
Sheldon, what's the fascination with you with the Riders?
Just a local team. It's our only professional sports team. I'm a sports fan at heart, and it's if you're not going to cheer for the Riders, you might as well not cheer at all. It's all we got, and I think we have to support them.
How many years have you guys had this bus?
I think this is year 5 of the bus. We had a van earlier, and the van was a lot of fun, but we kind of outgrew it. It got too many of us. The Riders became really popular, and we had to upgrade to the van, and the van's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
Good morning. Hi.
You guys giving away a lot of candy?
Yeah, we still have a lot left over.
And what's your float?
We're the Girl Guides.
Are you from Swift Current, or?
Yes, we're from here.
How long have you been part of the Girl Guides?
About 3 years.
Good looking fella.
Hey, so did you budget enough candy?
No, yeah, I've got 3 other vehicles behind me. But I'm running out. I'm trying to make it to the south side. I don't know how much those guys are throwing out. I don't know if they're paying attention when I throw out.
Hi.
So what's the best part about being part of the Bronco organization?
Oh, the fans. All the excitement, the enjoyment, game nights, I love it. Coming up around the bend here pretty quick.
So do you get a bit of a break over the summer?
Little bit of a break, yeah. Natasha, what are we? 50 days till training camp.
Yeah,
yeah.
52.
52 days. Yeah. Lots of fun.
Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at mylocaltv.ca. And be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.